All right, well, good morning. Well, we made the drive all the way up to Welcome, North Carolina. We've got a tour scheduled for today at RCR, so this is going to be really cool. It's behind the scenes tour. There's a museum here with like 30 Dale Earnhardt cars, and then we're actually going to get to see part of the race shop and some other things. So really looking forward to this. It'll be, about 4 hours that we're scheduled to be here, so pretty cool.
Heads Carolina, tails California, somewhere greener, somewhere warmer, up in the mountains, down by the ocean, where it don't matter, as long as we're going somewhere together. I've got a quarter. Heads Carolina, tails California.
Richard had actually built this area so that when the car came back from Daytona, all the parts and pieces, nobody's actually sat in this car or been around this car. It's just like it left Daytona. There was a little girl that gave Dale a penny right before the race to wish him good luck, and the penny's still on the dash. And Earnhardt tried to be tough, but he was really soft-hearted. And Chocolate would be with us, and Chocolate tells the story really, really good. About 5 years ago, the little girl, she's a grown woman now, and her mom wanted to come and see the car again. And so they came, met Chocolate. Chocolate showed her the car, and they had their picture taken with the car and all. And Chocolate walked outside, and the van that they were driving was a handicap van, had 3 stickers in the back of it. And Chocolate was like, hey, that's cool. And the mama said, that's the van that Dale bought us. And nobody knew it. So Dale bought her a handicap van and kept it secret, didn't tell anybody, this and that. He did all kinds of things like that people didn't know. But this car right here, as I said, Richard does this 5-year plan. They continue, they come through here, and they value these cars and this and this. This car, basically, every car in here has a value. This car here would be priceless because it was 20 years since Dale attempted to win 500. They wouldn't put a price on this. Earnhardt was really good at being able to tell what he needed, so we tried to figure out what they were doing because we kept working on our stuff, and we just couldn't get to the next level. If you see these 2 engines over here, the engine on the left is pulled out. That is a 358 race engine with Ford heads on it. Has Robert Yates heads on it. So what we did is we took and we built the engine and put the Ford heads on it, and it was 55 horsepower better than what we had. So then we went to Chevrolet, and the engine right beside of it is the Chevrolet's version, and that's a R. They call that a R98. And in '98 is whenever they came out with the new Ep.2 cylinder head, which actually put us back where we needed to be. But that's really, really rare engine to have Ford heads on a Chevrolet racing engine. And there you go again. Richard's like, when we got done doing the test, he's like, don't take that apart. I want to save it and this and that. But we continued to try to figure out what other teams were doing, because back then all they would check was bore and stroke and the carburetor. Anything else you wanted to do, you could basically do it.
We won Danny says we won the Daytona 499 10 times before he ever won it, and that's actually the tire. We're coming down the backstretch, and it's another thing too, you guys don't ever celebrate on the white flag, ever, never, because I can tell you plenty of times it don't usually work out. That's the tire that actually Derek Cope won that race. We're going into 3, and we had it covered. It was one of them deals where the car wasn't a draft going to catch that car, and It blew out going into 3. We're all sitting there like this right here looking like, we didn't have the TVs and stuff. We're like, come on, come on. And we heard, oh, you could hear it from the fans' reaction. You're like, and when it happened, we just, it's like, you just know. You just know. And it's like, that still hurts.
Yeah, that's 1990.
Yeah.
They talk about that. But looking back on it though, being as he tried so hard, that 98, it was
Made it more special,
It
yeah.
was really, really sweet.
Yeah.
We're looking at these people like they're zoo animals.
I know.
I hate doing this.
We'll turn around and load up and we go to Portland, Oregon. We stay out there and then we go to Sonoma and race. So we basically got to have 6 cars completely done whenever the trucks
are
leave.
huge.
The trucks are actually getting ready to leave that and already.
Ask them their workout regimen.
I know. I could do that.
But this is all.
Hi, everybody. The Pit Crew guys.
Hey, good
We
guys.
are Pit Crew. We are Pit Crew.
I think the one in the back is a wee bit
So you see there's way more
little bit.
cars over here than you see over here because they're doing the way we used to do it. You have to. This wheel will fall off.
Fred Austin's in big trouble.
So guys, obviously, has anybody seen one lug stops up close? So one of the big differences between the 5 lugs and the 1 lug you just saw right there, right? So if we knocked off 2 lugs with the 5 lug, that'd be a catastrophe. But we could still stay over there and put them on ourselves, right? With the 1 lug, if we have a bad index and we can't even draw the wheel up, then we need a bunch of people. We need the jackman to come back. We've got to take, because you can't tighten it on the ground. With 5 lug, you can tighten some lug nuts with the tire on the ground. So that's been a major issue that we've had to deal with. These are our younger development guys, so they're just learning everything right now, but you'll see some good stops, I promise. Thanks. Any other questions, guys?
How heavy are the wheels and tires?
Dakota, why don't you bring up Dakota? Can you do the fire over here too? So these, since we went to the 1 lug, they're a lot lighter than the 5 lug tires with the liners in them, you know.
Tire with the liners were
It's about 35, 40 pounds.
Can I pick one up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
It's not bad.
What offsets that from the last wheel is these are so much deeper to handle. You know, to where the other ones were, they were heavier. But
Danny was telling you there were 6 studs on the hub, and now you see you got all these holes. You have an opportunity to catch those 6, so that actually goes on pretty good. And with a liner, it was 60 pounds.
yeah, I think there was a little.
And then like a liner itself was 12 pounds. So some of the tracks that we used to run without the liner was 12 pounds lighter. But this is like night and day difference. But this is an 18-inch wheel also, and this is wider, isn't it? This is a left.
All the way around the room. That's a laser measuring measuring system. So you can't really see any of them right now, but these monitors that are at the end of each workstation, they have these holes where they can measure the roofs, the fenders. So they take the pole and they measure the roof, and they can look up on the screen and they can make their adjustments instead of having to do it with a tape measure. It stays about 72 degrees in here all the time because the temperature affects the measurements. what happens is the crew chiefs come in and they give a build for, we have 150 thousandths tolerance on the body, and you try to take, like at a speedway, you want the rear end down and the nose up. They try to take all that into consideration. So when it leaves here, it goes into the Hawkeye. I know y'all probably seen that at NASCAR before, where they do the laser scan and they look at the body, and it'll come back here a lot of times and they'll make small adjustments and all. And this is how we can tell that each car is exactly the same. Any questions?
Is that a colleague car?
So we have multiple technical alliances.
Okay.
So colleague racing, big machine racing, and right now, before they switched to Toyota, Legacy, MC, we put their bodies on, we build their engines, we do all the engineering support. Colleague will set the car up for them, they'll take it to the racetrack, it's their crew chiefs. Our engineering supports them, helps them, gives them tire data, wind tunnel data, and this and that. We help them along, and what that does for us is, it gives us more driver feedback, and it gives us the funding that we get from that. We can have a stronger engineering base. All of the Xfinity cars that you see that race at Colleague are built here in our shop. And basically, they put decals on them, they put the engines in them, which is an ECR engine, and they go to the racetrack. But it's all of our setup, derived from RCR.
Now, what happens when Legacy switches to Toyota next season?
So,
Does that affect
so whenever they have those contracts, in about a month, we'll start pulling some information away from them. We'll still give them tire data and stuff that doesn't matter. Engines will stay the same because they can't look inside them. The engines are sealed, they can't look inside of the engine. But aero stuff and strategy stuff, we have, RCR has a strategy, a pit road strategy, they call it pit road, that'll tell you, like, okay, this race is 600 miles, there's going to be this many pit stops, the chance of having a caution in the last 100 miles is this, and it helps the crew chiefs decide how to work the strategy. It plays from 600 miles forward. You want to be the best track position you can at the end of the 600 miles. So we'll take that kind of stuff away from them as it goes.
So when a driver like Kyle comes from Toyota over here, he gives you a lot of information on the Toyota.
Well, you can't, he has nothing, he has no tools, he has no computer. You can't take away what he knows. And there has been a few things, like we have 2 simulators here that the drivers work on, and he'll say stuff like we did stuff like this, we did it like this, and it's basically up to our competition director, which is Andy Petrie, and the crew chiefs, how we want to do it. But you're always changing that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go back out and go here, and there was no support. And after a while, the headers would start to flex, and when the header actually would get into the carbon fiber, it would start melting. And then once it got to 1500 degrees, this is actually what started catching on fire. Okay. And so now they've mandated their straps and this and that to keep the exhaust from. And it mostly happened on the Fords, just because of the way that their headers were built. There's 2 truck drivers for every truck, and the truck drivers are responsible for everything in the trailer. When the guys take anything off the cars or off the toolboxes or whatever, they make a note of it. The truck drivers come in and they replenish everything, whether it's gear, oil, lubes, or whatever it is. They have everything in the hauler, from medicine for headaches all the way down to driver cool suits to food for the pit crew.
That's awesome.
All right, guys, I'm sorry to geek out, but that was amazing. Like, I am over the moon ecstatic. That was so much fun. Behind the scenes, seeing how the next gen cars put together, the Cup garage, getting to go behind the scenes, seeing everything, how those cars are put together, and then the engine shop was amazing. I don't think the kids cared for it that much. Logan might have, because he knows what goes into, you know, valve cover gaskets and valve springs and all that type of stuff, and the time and effort it goes into putting that stuff together. But man, that was so cool, so cool. So we're here at Whataburger in Kannapolis, North Carolina. We got us 5 Whata cheeseburgers and some onion rings and some tater tots and some this and that and a sun drop and all kinds of stuff. We having a good time.
I need a penny. You were gonna leave a penny? I know, but I don't have one. I need penny.
Was he really that tall?
Yes.
10 foot tall.
Wow.
Bulletproof.
Wow.
That's Noah's been asking me for one, but I don't. And I didn't bring my purse.
Glasses. He wore those gargoyle, big honking gargoyle sunglasses. Oh, cuties. And his arms are massive.
Penny. Penny.
Watch out! Watch out!
Penny.
Not allowed to touch that.
You should do the pink cruise workout.
And you have to have like clearance to go in. Oh yeah.
I thought you were rich. Whoa, is that the house?
No.
No, this
Good
is
Lord.
this is Della Earnhardt Incorporated.
DUI.
Public showroom and retail store closed today.
Wow.
Closed today. We keep going.
I was gonna say, is there like a place just to take a picture?
Stop right here.
Why not?
What are they gonna do?
All right, we are going to see Macy's bestie. Okay, she told me to stop. So we're going into Penske racing. Don't know what's in here, but we're gonna go check it out, check out their store, see how much of the shop we can see. So let's go see what we can find. This one's cool.
Well, that pretty much wraps up our day. We toured quite a few race shops on this day. Didn't film everywhere we went. Didn't film a whole lot, and most of them, except the RCR one, we tried to record as much of that as we could. I definitely did not include all of that in this video. I figure it might be pretty boring for some of y'all, but I don't care. That's for me. We really geeked out on this day. We spent the evening just hanging out at the camper. Macy actually had a little bit of a fever that day, and Kira took her to a walk-in clinic. Turns out she had strep throat, and we didn't know it. So got her some antibiotics and some medicine, and she started feeling better the next day. But anyway, it was a fun day. Join us in the next episode. We're going to head to the NASCAR Hall of Fame and then watch the truck race on Friday night. So having a great time on this Heads Carolina trip, trying to get through all these videos.
We can load what we own in the back of a U-Haul van. Couple modern day Moses searching for the promised land.